You will be representing the employment agency found on Walnut Street. At your station, students will apply for jobs. The resources that you'll need at your station are the employee records that you see on the screen right now. Also, you will need the job listings chart. It's kind of hard to get the whole thing in, but you get the idea. Also, you will need a jobs available sign, and this sign will be laminated for you, and then you'll be writing on it with a dry erase marker. You will also need job status cards. You'll have a stack of cards that will tell whether or not the students get the job. You'll also need a hiring log. Looks like this. And you'll have extra copies of job applications. You probably won't need those, but just in case a student has lost theirs, you will have an extra one. You'll also need pencil and a stamp marker or stickers, whichever one you're set up for using, and then a dry erase marker and a paper towel to go with it. Now this station is going to be a busy station because the students are going to be coming in to try to get jobs, and there are going to be other functions at your station as well. But there will be 2 volunteers assigned to your station, so you'll want to split up the different tasks appropriately, however it works out, and it might kind of change as the game goes on, because there's going to be certain times when certain aspects of your job is going to be busy, and then that'll kind of subside as the game goes on. Now, the students have already initially applied for jobs. They turned in their application before the game, maybe a week ago, and the coordinator for the program has already reviewed the applications and gone through them and found out who was appropriate for jobs, who should be declined a job, and so forth. So he or she would have already written all the information on your employee records. So when you get that, you're already going to have some of that information filled in. For students that did not receive a job, that information would not be on there, obviously. So there are people that are going to still be wanting to get jobs, and that's what their purpose is for coming to you right now. So the people that already have a job will be going about their way, and they're not going to have to come to you. Just the students that are still needing a job. So before a student, I guess when they come up to your station, the first thing that they should do is they should check your jobs available sign, because this is going to have on it, there's going to be marks on it. If the job for barber is no longer available because someone already fills that position, then that will be marked through. All the jobs that are already taken will be marked through. So the student will first want to make sure that the job is even available that they're looking at. Then they're going to want to look at the jobs listing chart and make sure that they're qualified for the job that they're applying for. So on this chart, there's different qualifications. So maybe they need a college degree, and so you'd want to look down and see on their application if they had that covered. Or maybe trade school, maybe they needed a particular type of license to go with that. There might be other things that come along with the qualifications that they need to consider and should be on their application as well. There also are physical requirements or physical considerations that you'd want to look for as well. So those are the kind of things that they should be looking at to make sure that they're even appropriate for the job that they're applying for. So when the student presents the application supposedly ready for your approval, the first thing to do is to check that job listings chart to make sure that the job is available. Obviously, you're not going to just take their word for it. You're going to make sure that opening is there. If the job is not available, you're going to tell the student that the position has already been filled, and then you're going to X the number under the jobs denied column, this column right here. You're going to X the number for that attempt for trying to get that job. And so if it's their first attempt to try to get a job and it was denied, you're going to make an X through the number 1. The second attempt you'll mark through the number 2, and third attempt will be through the number 3. After the third attempt, At that point, you will refer them to the government office to apply for government aid, or that they can do that at that point if they'd like. If they do not receive the job at that point, if it's not available, you're going to tell them the different options that they have. And you can actually look at the job status card, and it spells all this out for you. So sorry, you did not receive the job you applied for. There were many other qualified applicants for this job. In the meantime, you may check back at the employment agency for new job openings. They can check back anytime throughout the game. There's no limit to how much they can do. If you do not get a job after applying for 3 or more jobs, you may apply for government assistance. And then you may also choose to go back to school to gain necessary skills for other jobs. For this option, you must pay $2,000 per semester. You may apply and register at the school on Oak Street. So those are their choices. They can either keep coming back to you and applying and possibly having to do assistance, government assistance down the road, or they can be proactive and try to, get a better job for the future. Now, if the job is available on the Jobs Available sign, then you're going to check the student's qualifications against what the qualifications are for that particular career. And if the applicant is not qualified for that job for some reason, then you're going to come up and you're going to mark jobs denied. So you'll mark it on there. If they are appropriate for the job, you will have them choose one of the cards, which I have misplaced. Let me find it for you. Okay, you're going to have them choose from, there's going to be a stack of cards, job status cards, and they're going to choose one of the cards from the top. And so if there's 2 options. It's either going to be congratulations or sorry. If it's congratulations, which is what you want, then you're going to mark through the job on this chart. You're going to if it's daycare worker they got, then you're going to mark through it with the dry erase marker. And that way you know that no one else can apply for that job, because only one person at a time can have a job, these jobs in the city. Then you're going to write the name of the new employee on the hiring log. This way you know who's all taking up these jobs, okay? Then you're going to record the following information on this employee record. The first thing you're going to write is the job title. You're going to write it here, so you would write, say, daycare worker. Okay? Then you're going to write the salary amount. To find the salary amount, you're going to go back again to your jobs listing. You're going to look up daycare amount. And here it says the salary is the salary minus the taxes equals the take-home pay. You're going to record the take-home pay of $1,500 per month. So you would write $1,500 right here. Okay, and then you're going to look and see if any college loans were needed for that job. And in this case, the college degree was not required, so they would not need a college loan. But however, if they did need a college degree, then you would check the amount that was needed for that particular degree. So in this case, it's $100 per month, and you would write that here. Okay? At that point, you will explain the requirements that are needed for that job, and that's all found on the congratulations card. It says, congratulations, you received the job. The job requires that you report to the employer before the end of every month. And that's just saying, because if they don't show up, that means that they didn't show up for work along the way. Also says that you should show proof that you met your needs each month that are necessary for the job. And those needs are personal care, dependent care, medical care, and transportation. Those are all found on one side of their game board. When they come to you, they have one side of their game board has all 4 of those needs, and all 4 of those needs need to be met in order for them to continue to keep their job. Now, if the card says sorry, if this card said sorry again, same as before, you're going to record that the number of the denial on the jobs denied column and explain the options again for what they would need to do. After all that transaction happens, just give the applications back to the students because they may need them for the future. Students may return to the employment agency anytime throughout the game to apply for more jobs as needed. There's no limit to how many they can apply for. However, remember that after the third attempt, failed attempt, they can apply for government aid. It doesn't mean that they will get it, though. The students may change their application as they need to apply for new jobs, but they can only change the application in two places. They can change here. They can change what the job is that they're applying for. So if they applied for barber the first time, but now they want to apply for discount store clerk, they would just cross through barber and then they would circle the discount store clerk. The other place that they can change is found at the bottom of the page, and that is the skills necessary. List any skills you have that are appropriate for the position, lifting, computer skills, etc. If they didn't need those skills for the first job, they might not have listed them. If they didn't need computer skills for the job that they were applying for on the first round, then they might not have put them on there. So they're welcome to add that at that point. So that is it for the employment agency. Hopefully that all makes sense, and I think that as you get your flow and rhythm with the two volunteers, that should work out very easily.